Welcome back to yet another episode of the Who Is series, where we dive in depth into the lore of fighting game characters. Well, without further ado, let me introduce the topic of our video, the warrior centaur of Shao Kahn's army, Motaro.
With renewed purpose, Motaro vowed that the Shokan would pay dearly for their treachery.
To begin, we must start before the original Mortal Kombat game, when the One Being was destroyed, causing the creation of the realms, including Outworld. Outworld was a very diverse realm full of different races. Today we're going to be focusing on the Shokans and Motaro's race, the Centaurs. As you could have guessed, the first couple centuries of Outworld's existence consisted of all kinds of races fighting for power, in turn forming in a sense of a hierarchy among the realms. The top of the hierarchy would first be taken by the Dragon King Onaga. Later down the line, the Shokan and Centaurs took a crack at leadership. Before making any moves, the two races would battle to see which is stronger, causing an all-out war between them that would persist in the realm for far longer than anticipated, causing this conflict to only be stopped once Shao Kahn usurped Onaga's throne by killing him, and rose to power with a growing obsession for conquest. After this, Shao Kahn decided to enlist the strong of Outworld, and because of his incredible strength, both the Centaur and Shokan would decide to serve him. This would lead to both races fighting for favor from Shao. They hoped that if Shao favored one of them, he would have no need for the other, and wipe them out. This continued growing in extremity, both trying to one-up the other race. This is when the Centaurs had Motaro, specifically, be the strongest to represent them, causing things to go well for the Centaurs, up until the point that Shao Kahn was after Earthrealm. During this time, Shao had already succeeded in conquering other realms. This would luckily turn out differently, when he decided to conquer Earthrealm. As during Mortal Kombat, he was met with a lot more resistance than expected from Raiden and the other Earthrealmers. They only gained some ground when Shang Tsung aided Outworld, but was ultimately stopped by the great Kung Lao. Obviously annoyed at this setback, Shao stepped away from the Centaur warrior Motaro, and put his attention towards Goro, causing the favor to swing towards the Shokan. As time went on, the Centaurs would lose more and more favor, especially when Goro defeated the great Kung Lao. Now we're finally to the events of Mortal Kombat 1 and 2, in which the Centaurs make their comeback. As MK1 and 2 would have two Shokan warriors, Goro, then Kintaro, defeated by Liu Kang. Shao Kahn, once again angered at the defeat, would put the blame towards the Shokan, once again putting his faith back into the Centaurs, and more specifically, Motaro. Alongside this favor, the Centaurs would start to get what they wanted as the Emperor would cook up a plan to wipe out the Shokans, with the help of the Centaurs. This plan brings us to the first game Motaro actually appears in, Mortal Kombat 3. This is when the Centaur would bathe Outworld with the blood of the Shokan, this occurring just as the invasion of Earthrealm commenced. This invasion had Shao Kahn appoint Motaro as the lead of the extermination squad against Earthrealm, killing numerous humans, including the Earthrealm movie star, Johnny Cage. This was to prove once and for all to the Emperor that the Centaur were the superior beings. With everything going as planned for Motaro, the Centaur now at the right hand of Shao and fighting the Shokan back once and for all, he took a moment to relish in this victory. And during this, he would find Kano, just recently defeated by Sonya Blade. Motaro decided to recover the severely injured Kano and bring him back to Shao Kahn's fortress. After using magic to revive him, Motaro imprisoned Kano, keeping him to be punished for letting down Shao Kahn by not being able to defeat Sonya. It was at this time, though, that Motaro was caught off guard by an understandably angry Shiva, who supposedly killed Motaro, as he wouldn't appear again until Mortal Kombat Armageddon. Now up until the point of Armageddon, a lot happens, such as Shao's defeat, causing him to lose many realms initially captured, such as Edenia. During this time, the Centaurs would still wage war against the Shokan, this being stopped by Edenia attempting to thwart Shao's plans. Both Kitana and Sindel convince both the Shokan and Centaur that they are but pawns to Shao Kahn, and with him in his weakened state, they could all take down the Emperor, hopefully allowing the races to live in harmony. Hesitantly, the Centaur agree. Before they are able to take any actions, Shao is defeated by the Deadly Alliance, Quan Chi and Shang Tsung. Now, surprisingly, During these years, it is said that the Centaurs enjoyed quite a few years of peace. That is, until Mortal Kombat Armageddon, in which every character is in the game, so it's revealed that Shao faked his death and actually allied with Goro. And it was in this alliance that the Shokuns would put a curse on the Centaur, turning them into bipedal minotaurs. With this transformation, the Centaur would immediately set their sights on the Shogun and Prince Goro, waging yet another massacre across Outworld, seeking revenge. This all comes to a big conclusion at the Battle of Armageddon, in which the forces of light and darkness would face off. That is, until it became a free-for-all when the Pyramid of Argus erupted from the ground, and Motaro, unfortunately for him, perishes just like most other combatants, before he could exact his revenge. As we see at the beginning of Mortal Kombat 9, only Raiden and a blaze-infused Shao Kahn remain, where Shao taunts Raiden, but just as Shao's about to kill him, he utters the words, "He must win," using his amulet to rewind the timeline to the beginning of Mortal Kombat and warn his past self in order to change the future for the better. Now, this being a reboot, its story is very similar in some ways, but obviously differs in very major ways. What does Motaro have to do with any of this? Well, we first see him appear in the MK2 section of the game, earlier than in the original timeline. But just like the original timeline, this tournament ends in his defeat by the Shaolin. Unlike the original timeline, however, the Shogun and Centaur don't have a fallout as they did originally, resulting in stagnant loyalty by both sides towards Shao Kahn. After this tournament defeat, we move to the events of MK3, where Shao is sieging war on Earthrealm. And it is during this where Motaro's story differs immensely from the original canon. This is when the Centaur finds Johnny Cage, almost defeating him this time. But unlike the original timeline, Raiden succeeds in saving him. This fight then causes Motaro to be killed, causing Shao to be desperate and put all his cards into a bewitched Sindel. This showing how Motaro's death was the cause of a domino effect, in which most Earthrealm warriors perish by a superpowered Sindel. Now this is the last we see of Motaro, until a small cameo in Mortal Kombat 11, where Shiva has an intro in which she possesses the head of Motaro and rips it in half. It could be very possible that Motaro was brought back with a time merger, and some fight went down that we'd never heard about. But, of course, that will most likely never be fully known. This now leads us to Mortal Kombat 1, in which Motaro is not only a cameo fighter, but seems to have a semi-substantial part in the story, working with Reiko and General Shao's army to change Outworld, at least in their eyes, for the better. This is of course only part of the story, and the only part we know as of now, but when it comes out, I will most likely release an updated version of this video, so look forward to that. Anyways, that's Motaro. I hope you all enjoyed, and if you did, please drop a like, subscribe, and you don't want to miss my upcoming uploads with the release of MK1. It's only 3 days away. Either way, I'll see you all later, and remember, be good people. Bye.